Hey, I'm Kelly. If you love cars as much as I do, you're in the right place. From drifting car days to uncovering the world's most iconic rides. Gear up and subscribe to Drive with Kelly for nonstop car fun. We've seen the ghost cars gathering dust in the back corner, but where do they go when they vanish? The truth is, a dark secret dealers are terrified to reveal. We went behind the scenes with hidden cameras to expose the floor plan trap and the brutal auctions where dream cars die for pennies on the dollar. We reveal the desperate trading schemes and the 5 specific vehicles rotting on showroom floors right now that dealers cannot give away. Do not buy a car until you know the truth behind the graveyard of unsold dreams. Let's go. The ticking time bomb, the floor plan trap. To understand why a dealer panics over an unsold car, you have to understand who actually owns it. Most buyers walk into a showroom and assume that the dealership bought those cars cash and now they are just waiting to sell them for a profit. That is almost never the case. Dealerships do not own their inventory, they rent it. It is a financial system called floor planning, and it is the heartbeat of the automotive industry. It is also a ticking time bomb. Here's how it works. A dealer orders 50 cars from the manufacturer for the spring season. They don't write a check for those cars. A bank, usually the manufacturer's own financing arm or a massive lender like Wells Fargo, pays the factory for the cars. The dealer then pays rent, interest, to the bank for every single day the car sits on their lot. For the first 60 to 90 days, the manufacturer might be nice. They might subsidize this interest cost to give the dealer a chance to sell the unit. This is called the honeymoon period. During these 3 months, the dealer is relaxed. The car is an asset. It is shiny. It represents potential profit. But the moment that clock strikes 91 days, the mood changes. The subsidy ends, the interest rate spikes, the bank starts demanding curtailments. A curtailment is a mandatory payment against the principal value of the car. So, not only is the dealer paying interest, but they are also forced to start paying off the car itself. Cash that is coming directly out of their operating budget. Suddenly, that automobile isn't a shiny toy, it is a parasite. It is eating the dealership's cash flow. A car that sits for 6 months, 9 months, or, God forbid, a year, is bleeding the dealership dry. It is taking up valuable square footage that could be used for a fast-selling model. It is requiring insurance. It is requiring battery tenders. It is requiring staff to dust it. This financial panic is what drives every single decision a sales manager makes. When you see a salesman looking desperate at the end of the month, he isn't just trying to make a commission. He is trying to stop the bleeding on an aged unit that the owner is screaming about. This leads to the first and most obvious strategy, the desperate discount. They slash the price to invoice. They waive the freight fees. They waive the setup fees. They just want the car gone so the bank stops calling. But sometimes, even a discount isn't enough. Sometimes the car is just fundamentally unlovable. 5. BMW i8. This brings us to our first casualty of the floor plan trap. This is a vehicle that was hyped up to be something revolutionary. It was supposed to steal the sports car market and bring futuristic styling to the masses, but instead it ended up being a beautiful sculpted statue that gathers dust in corners of showrooms from California to New York. We are talking about the BMW i8. This car is a tragedy because on paper it is magnificent. It features a plug-in hybrid system combining a 1.5-liter turbocharged 3-cylinder engine with an electric motor, producing a combined 369 horsepower. It looks like it rolled out of a sci-fi movie. The butterfly doors are absolutely stunning. The carbon fiber reinforced plastic body is lighter than steel. The LED lighting is futuristic. The paint is flawless. It feels like it was carved from a single block of Bavarian engineering excellence. A brand new i8 started at roughly $147,000 when it launched, but even used models from 2018 to 2020 still commanded $80,000 to $100,000. That puts it squarely in competition with the Porsche 911 and the Audi R8. So, why is it sitting unsold? Why are dealers terrified when they still have one in stock? Because it is a practicality disaster for the vast majority of American sports car buyers. The defining feature of the car, that futuristic hybrid powertrain, is also its fatal flaw. The tiny trunk space, the uncomfortable seats, the complex maintenance requirements, and the fact that it's neither a pure sports car nor a true electric vehicle leaves it stranded in no man's land. Those butterfly doors occupy the exact space where a sports car buyer wants easy access. You cannot comfortably get in and out of an i8 without gymnastic abilities. On a long drive, you can't stretch out. The cabin is cramped. You are pinned in place by the tight cockpit. It is also heavy for what it is. We are talking nearly 3,500 pounds. It is a handful in tight parking lots. But the real problem is the market mismatch. The typical BMW sports car buyer wants raw power and track capability. They buy the M4 or the M2. The typical hybrid buyer wants efficiency and practicality. They buy a Tesla. The i8 sits in a weird no man's land. It is too complex for the traditional sports car guys and too impractical for the eco-conscious buyers. Quick pause. If you have ever seen a car sitting at a dealership for years and wondered why nobody bought it, click that like button. It helps us expose these market secrets to more buyers. The shell game. This is one of the most common yet least understood strategies in the industry. It is the art of the dealer trade. Dealerships rarely exist in a vacuum. They are often part of larger automotive groups, or they simply have friendly relationships with other dealers of the same brand. They start trading inventory to solve each other's problems. It works like this. A dealer in Florida might have a surplus of convertibles because the weather is year-round and the demand is constant. So, nobody wants sedans, but they are desperate for SUVs because families are moving to the suburbs. Meanwhile, a dealer in Minnesota might be drowning in SUVs, but has customers begging for convertibles for the upcoming summer season. The managers make a deal. I will send you 2 i8s and a luxury sedan if you send me 3 X5s. They load the cars onto a truck and they swap the problem children. Why do they do this? It isn't just to get the right mix, it is to reset the clock. Psychology plays a huge role in sales. If a customer visits a local dealership every month and sees the same dusty car sitting in the same spot, that car becomes stale. The customer assumes something is wrong with it. The salespeople get tired of looking at it and stop trying to sell it. It becomes invisible furniture. But when that car arrives at a new dealership in a different state, it is fresh inventory. The salespeople there haven't failed to sell it 50 times yet. They are excited to have something new to show. The customers walking in haven't seen it before. To them, it just arrived. "Oh, we just got this one in," the salesman says. And technically, it isn't a lie. Even if that car has been sitting in a warehouse in Miami for a year before taking a truck ride to Minnesota, it is a way to shuffle the deck chairs on the Titanic. They are hoping a change of scenery, a new demographic, and a fresh sales team will find a buyer. But sometimes, even a change of scenery isn't enough, especially when the car has a fundamental flaw that no amount of geographic relocation can fix. Number 4. Lincoln Nautilus. This brings us to a vehicle that looks incredible in photos, but consistently fails to leave the showroom floor. It appeals to luxury buyers, but in the real world, it forces owners to question their purchase more often than they want to. We are talking about the Lincoln Nautilus. When Lincoln redesigned the Nautilus for 2024, the automotive world took notice. The styling is sleek and contemporary, and the new version captures that premium American luxury aesthetic perfectly. It looks expensive standing still. The specs are undeniable. It uses a turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder, making 250 horsepower, or you can upgrade to the twin-turbo 2.7-liter V6, making 310 horsepower. It has Lincoln's Copilot 360 suite of driver assistance features, a beautiful panoramic sunroof, and premium leather seats. It is a legitimate luxury SUV. The price starts around $50,000 and can climb to $60,000 with options. It is priced competitively against other luxury crossovers. So, why is it a shelf warmer? The fatal flaw is the brand perception. In order to compete with Lexus, Acura, and the German brands, Lincoln needs a stronger reputation. But American buyers have associated Lincoln with their grandparents for decades. The badge doesn't command the same prestige as a Mercedes-Benz or a BMW, even though the vehicle itself is well built. Real-world resale value plummets faster than the competition. Buyers know this, so they hesitate to commit to a Lincoln when they could get a used Lexus RX for similar money with better long-term value retention. So, trading the car didn't work. The Nautilus is still there, the i8 is still there, the year is coming to an end. Manufacturers want to report high sales numbers to their shareholders to keep their stock price up. Dealers want to hit their volume bonuses, massive cash payouts from the factory for hitting sales targets. So, what do? They punch the car. The punch. This is industry slang for self-reporting a sale. The dealer reports the VIN number to the manufacturer as sold, but they didn't sell it to a customer. They sold it to themselves or to a shell company owned by the dealership, or they designated it as a demo or service loaner. By punching the ticket, two things happen. First, the manufacturer records a sale, so they are happy. Second, the dealer hits their volume target and gets their bonus check, which might be enough to cover the loss they are about to take on the car. But here's the catch. The moment a car is punched, the warranty clock starts ticking. The car is now technically used in the eyes of the manufacturer, even if it has 0 miles on the odometer. The dealer moves it from the new inventory row to the pre-owned section. Why would they do this? Because of MAP, minimum advertised price rules. Manufacturers have strict rules about how low a dealer can advertise the price of a new car. They don't want to devalue the brand. But a used car, Wild West rules apply. A dealer can advertise a used car for any price they want. By punching the car, they can suddenly list that $50,000 vehicle for $38,000 online, without getting a fine from the factory. They can slash the price to the bone just to get rid of it. If you are browsing AutoTrader and you see a current year vehicle with 50 miles on the odometer listed as used or demo at a massive discount, you are looking at a punched car. It is a desperate move to clear the books and stop the floor plan interest. It is a great opportunity for you as a buyer, but it is a sign of failure for the dealership. If you want to know how to spot these deals and negotiate even harder, make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel. We have guides coming on how to talk to dealers. 3. Nissan Ariya. Nissan, once a pioneer in electric vehicles with the Leaf, was supposed to bring the masses into the EV fold with the Ariya. It wasn't $60,000 like some luxury EVs. It was supposed to be accessible. On paper, the specs are actually impressive. It creates up to 389 horsepower in the dual-motor configuration and delivers instant electric torque. Because it is electric, that torque is available at 0 revolutions per minute. It launches quickly. It does 0 to 60 in around 5 seconds in the performance trim. It weighs around 4,500 pounds, which is manageable for an EV. It looks like a modern crossover. It has style. It retails starting at $43,000. That is not cheap, but it isn't Tesla Model X money either. So, why is it the electric ghost? Why are dealers unplugging the charging stations to save electricity? Because nobody is test driving them. The answer is range anxiety combined with brand perception. The range is listed at up to 304 miles, which sounds fine for commuting, but the real-world highway range at 75 miles per hour is significantly less. And let's be honest, who drives 55 on the highway? If you drive at real American interstate speeds of 75 or 80 miles per hour, that battery drains faster than a cold beer on a hot day. You might get 220 miles of spirited driving before the panic sets in. Dealers were forced to install expensive charging stations to sell these cars, investments costing tens of thousands of dollars. Now those stations sit there unused. The cars sit there fully charged, collecting dust. The early adopters, the tech enthusiasts who had to have the first one, have already bought them and left the building. The average buyer isn't interested. Dealers are stuck with inventory that technology is rapidly making obsolete. Every month, the car sits, battery technology gets better, making the unsold car even less desirable. It is a depreciating asset that is depreciating faster than anything else on the floor. When the discount fails, the trade fails, and the punch fails, the dealership turns its attention inward. They start targeting their own employees. The spiff. A spiff is a special cash bonus paid directly to the salesperson for selling a specific unit. The general manager will walk into the Saturday morning sales meeting, point to the dusty Aria or the i8 in the corner, and say, $500 cash in hand to whoever moves that car today. Suddenly, the sales team has a new motivation. They stop showing customers the cars they want to see and start steering them toward the spiff car. Oh, you are looking for an SUV? Have you considered the Aria? It's electric. It's the future. You want a luxury car? Check out this i8. No gas stops. It's German engineering. They become aggressive. They push hard. If you ever feel like a salesperson is trying weirdly hard to sell you a car that you didn't ask for, it is because there is a bounty on its head. They are trying to earn that spiff. The dealership is willing to sacrifice margin to pay the salesperson just to get the liability off the floor plan. It is internal bribery, and it happens every single weekend at dealerships across the country. I have a question for you. Would you buy an electric vehicle with limited range just for city driving, or does the lack of engine noise and traditional driving experience ruin it for you? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. 2. Mazda CX-90. Sometimes a car fails, not because it is bad, but because it missed the mark for the specific market it was sold in. This vehicle is well reviewed by critics, but in America, it is gathering dust. It is the Mazda CX-90. Mazda brought the CX-90 to the US to compete with the three-row luxury SUV segment dominated by the Acura MDX and the Lexus TX. It is a mid-size three-row SUV, a segment that is on fire right now. The specs are solid. It features a turbocharged 3.3-liter inline-six engine making 340 horsepower, or you can opt for the plug-in hybrid making 323 horsepower combined. It has premium materials, beautiful interior design, and Mazda's legendary driving dynamics. The price is attractive, starting around $40,000 and topping out around $55,000. It is cheaper than the competition. So, why is it sticking to the floor mats? Because Mazda decontented certain features American buyers expect and shoppers noticed. First, the third row is cramped. In 2026, three-row SUV buyers want spacious seating in all three rows. The CX-90's third row is suitable only for children, making it less practical than the Highlander or the Pilot. Second, no hybrid option in the base trim. For a vehicle marketed toward families who value efficiency, omitting the hybrid powertrain in the entry-level model is a missed opportunity. Americans want options, and limiting the hybrid to higher trims pushes buyers toward the competition. 1. Chrysler 300. Our final hard-to-sell car isn't a tech failure, and it isn't a design disaster. It is a victim of its own obsolescence. It isn't bad, it just isn't relevant anymore. It is the Chrysler 300. Chrysler kept the 300 alive for years to compete in the full-size sedan market. They wanted a piece of the pie that the Dodge Charger had been eating for years. The specs are decent. It features a 3.6-liter V6 engine making 292 horsepower, or you can upgrade to the legendary 5.7-liter Hemi V8 making 363 horsepower. It has a bold, aggressive design with that signature grille. It looks like a modern gangster car. The price started at around $32,000 for the base model and climbed to $45,000 for the loaded V8 version. It was relatively affordable. So, why is it rotting on floors? Because it is invisible. The market has shifted to SUVs and crossovers. The sedan segment, especially full-size sedans, is dying. Chrysler discontinued the 300 after the 2023 model year, but dealers are still stuck with leftover inventory from that final run. It is trying to compete in a segment that no longer exists. Buyers either want SUVs for practicality or they want luxury sedans from German brands for prestige. The 300 is the car that answers a question nobody asked. It is a perfectly adequate vehicle that fails to ignite any passion. And in the automotive world, lack of passion is a death sentence. The nuclear option, the auction block. So, the car didn't sell new, it didn't sell as a trade, it didn't sell as a punch demo, the discount didn't work, the spiff didn't work. The car is now a year old, maybe 2. The dealer is losing money every single day it sits there. The tires are getting flat spots. The battery is dead, the seals are drying out. What is the final destination? The end of the line, the auction. The dealer finally accepts defeat. They call a massive transport truck. They load the dead stock onto the trailer. The i8s, the Arias, the Nautiluses, the CX-90S, the 300S. These cars are shipped to massive wholesale auctions like Mannheim Auto Auction. This is not eBay. This is a dealer-only club. It is a meat market for automobiles. The cars are lined up in endless rows in massive auction facilities in places like Atlanta, Dallas, and Los Angeles. Dealers from all over the world log in or show up in person to bid. Here is the shocking part. The dealer sending the car usually takes a massive loss. They might sell that $50,000 Lincoln for $32,000. They might let the Nissan Ariya go for $28,000. They just want the cash back to pay off the bank and stop the interest payments. They are cauterizing the wound. And the darkest fate of all, if a car is truly unloved, if the bid is low enough, it is bought for parts. Yes, nearly new vehicles with low miles are sometimes bought by salvage yards. They strip them down. The engine is worth money. The electronics are worth money. The wheels are worth money. The sum of the parts is worth more than the whole car. It is a tragic end for a machine designed to bring transportation joy, disassembled before it ever saw a family road trip. Next time you see that dusty car in the corner, the one with the faded window sticker and the dead battery, remember, it isn't just a vehicle, it is a financial hostage. It is a mistake waiting to be corrected. And if you play your cards right, you can be the one to rescue it for a fraction of the price. Now tell me what you think about what really happens to unsold cars, and is it justified in the comments? And if this reveal impressed you, get a sneak peek at the top 12 cars from India that are shockingly good, which is now blowing up the automotive market. Sales popped on the upper left of your screen.